Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, eating in my car like a creep while silently judging other people in the parking lot doing the same thing. One guy was like doing it and then he just got out and he just started smoking, but how do I say this? There's like sketchy ways to smoke and then there's just kind of like normal ways to smoke. He's smoking like everyone in every heist movie. You know how they always have that scene where the person's smoking on the sidewalk and then they like take one last long drag, throw the cigarette down, and then they like pull a ski mask over their head? Like that's the type of smoking he's doing. It's very criminal, pre-crime smoking. So anyway, obviously I'm a little amped up. It's early in the morning. I had my McDonald's. I also just generally healthy. Besides the McDonald's, my general health is a lot better, so I have a lot more energy, which is feels great. So anyway, did you see the low budget nun comedy from 3 years ago? You didn't? What? So anyway, I just rewatched The Little Hours, which I absolutely freaking love. I don't know, saw it this summer. Weirdly enough, even though I loved it the first time, I saw it, I loved it, and then I completely forgot it existed. Never thought about it again until it popped up, in the scroll on your Fire Stick. So I watched it again. I very vaguely remember seeing the trailer like once or twice in 2017, and I thought it looked pretentious. I have an oddly intense hatred for a form of humor that I call white people humor. This is not a zing on white people, it's just the best name I can come up with it. It's that The Office, Community, any Parks and Rec, any of those styles of humor where it's a lot of like awkward silences and then people staring, and then you like turn the camera and someone's staring and then you just hold it there. I was like, what the hell? Can we have John Witherspoon come out of a bathroom spraying deodorant and say, don't go in there for 35, 45 minutes? Like, that's funny to me. All this white people just blankly staring at things. No, I hate that shit. It's awful. That being said, it's just a vague term for a lot of different shows that aren't exactly the same. So this movie did terrible. It made like $1 million. But it looks to be just like a fun summer project for two married couples and their friends. I guess Allison Brie, who I just know that name. I had to look her up. I knew nothing about her. I just said that name sounds familiar. I guess she's a major like comedy star. I haven't seen any of her stuff. She's married to Dave Franco, and then Aubrey Plaza is married to the writer-director, although not really writer, but it's an improv movie. They just came up with an outline for each scene, and then people would just riff. I usually despise improv, but this is really, really good. What I love about this movie is it is literally a wouldn't it be funny if that lands. Usually, wouldn't it be funny if are only funny when you first say it the first time when someone's drunk or high, or I don't know, you're talking to someone and you're trying to get hired and they're like, wouldn't it be funny if? And you're like, ha ha ha. No. This is a wouldn't it be funny if that actually sticks the landing. So it's based on the Decameron, which is like the Italian version of the Canterbury Tales. Yeah, it's just a Middle Ages anthology of woe and life, which in the Middle Ages was pretty much the exact same thing. So it's a funny bit. Let's take this ancient manuscript and do like a modern funny take on it. So it's three nuns in a convent. I need to look up where it was filmed. It is absolutely beautiful. It looks expensive wherever they went. I'm sure it's just like, this is like just some random county in California, but it looks great. So it's about three nuns just dealing with life. Now you're like, that sounds terrible. Oh my, I don't know a way to describe this movie without making it sound awful. Just imagine a bunch of talented, kind of borderline mainstream, borderline quirky comedians riffing on some, funny takes on medieval life in a convent. I can probably describe the comedy better. So the idea is you're actually showing, kind of the drudgery and misery of Middle Ages life. Everyone's just always just, pulling long guard duty posts or scrubbing clothes by hand, picking turnips out of the dirt. And then you have people talk about how much their lives suck, but then you do it with like modern syntax and speech patterns and curse words. And it's funny, like it works. It actually works. So Dave Franco's character gets caught with the master's wife, is going to be killed. He runs away. He runs into John Riley. Is that John C. Riley? Is that the guy with the curly hair? Who's a priest who's going to go sell some embroidery and then gets drunk and loses in a river. Oh, this sounds so bad. It's freaking hilarious. So then he goes to the convent and he has to pretend to be a deaf mute. So the basic thing is 3 very sexually frustrated nuns who are kind of dealing with that they're stuck in this life. They're young, they're going to grow old here. This will be their entire life. For a movie that has no right to succeed at all, almost every single part works. The 3 female leads, they all kind of become fixated on Dave Franco's character. But I'm describing the plot of a movie where the plot is just a framework for really funny riffing. Aubrey Plaza, who I don't really know that well. I know she's been a thing for like 10 years. I just know her as, the barista from Scott Pilgrim mainly. That's like the only thing I've seen her in. Maybe a couple little bit parts here and there. She is so freaking good. All the nuns hate being nuns. The thing is that everyone hates their life. It's the Middle Ages. Even the Lord of the Manor, he's completely miserable. He comes back from essentially like a business trip and he's just talking about all the other, warlords and how they want his land. And his wife's cheating. Everyone's either cold or hot or sweaty or stinky. Like, everyone's life sucks. But then he'll talk to his wife and he'll be like, I provided this fine life for you, this meal of pheasant, and your 2 dresses that you own. It's funny because, yeah, you would be rich if you owned 2 dresses back then. That's funny. So Aubrey Plaza is, she's really pretty. You got to mention that part. But this is probably like her best type of role, where at some point it kind of feels like she might be the main character, but she isn't. Because it's not a good idea to make her the main character. She's very clearly a supporting actress type. Her husband's the director. The scenes that focus on her really focus on her, but she's really, really good with ensemble. She's good with... There's a funny part where one of the sisters goes into confession, and she's actually really contrite, for what she did. And then she leaves, and then Aubrey Plaza's character goes in, and real deadpan and like sarcastic, she just starts saying essentially the same story. And then the priest is like, this is the same story. Did you listen and copy it? And then like there's this long dramatic pause and she's like, no. And he's like, do you have any sins you want to confess? Everyone else is confessing their sins all the time. Aubrey Plaza was like, no. He's like, you didn't do anything? She's like, I didn't do anything this whole week. There's a great part at the end where Fred Armisen comes in. He's the bishop, something like that. And it's just a regular inspection. Of course, all kinds of shit goes down and ends up being revealed that everyone is breaking all the rules. So they're being punished the next day. It's the good part of white people humor, like long pauses and then it pays off. He's like, I'd like to call the tribunal in order. And then he like rings the bell. There's no way to describe this and make it sound funny. And then every time you think he's done ringing the bell, he'll ring it like one time. But then he starts reading off like everything that everyone's done. And of course, everyone but Aubrey Plaza is very contrite. So then he's like, lying with a woman, homosexuality. We list that twice, even though it's the same thing. At the end, one time, he's like, so he's listing it off, and then John C. Reilly he's standing next to him with his head down in shame. And then Fred Armisen is writing things in a book, and he's writing all their infractions. And then he's listing up Aubrey Plaza's one, and he's like, eating blood. Eating blood. I can't believe I'm saying that. And then he turns to John C. Reilly. He's like, do you think I've ever written eating blood before? It's a great framework for a lot of good, talented comedians to get like 3 funny minutes out of one nun pretending to want to wash her clothes, but really just trying to get someone else to wash them. Like, it sounds terrible, but it totally works. It was a super flop. Nobody talks about this movie. Nobody. I looked it up. It actually got very good reviews when it came out. But it was just so weird. And it was also the deal where it came out basically right at the tail end of that trend. That style of humor, although it's still around, it had about a 10-year heyday. And this came out like the next year after. It was kind of like, wind it down. Yeah, we've had enough of that. Go check it out. I'm pretty sure I saw it on Amazon Prime. I think I had to pay for it, $3.99, whatever. It might have been free. I don't know. Or it might have been one of those like, this is the free trial of Stars. Oh, I started watching that Moonbase 8. Apparently that was the free trial for something. And then I switched it off, and then I tried to go back to it, and I couldn't finish the episode. But that was actually funny enough to like almost get like the membership. I'll just wait though. It'll be free on something like a year or so. So go check it out. The Little Hours. They never explain the title. It makes me laugh every time I see it though, because it's that type of like pretentious art movie title you would give to a movie about nuns in the 1300s in Italy. And then it's just like this goofy comedy. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.